Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to configure Master Master Replication between two MySQL or MariaDB servers. So it doesn't really matter if you have MariaDB server or MySQL server. The same configuration should apply to both. So yeah, I mean, you can set up master slave or you can do master master. So the advantage of having master master versus master slave is that you can still set them, use them as master slave, but if you needed to switch in case of failover or something, then you can just continue using the new master without having to worry about syncing up data back to the old master when it comes back. So, whenever the other's master comes back up, it's gonna catch up because both are configured to be the slaves of each other. So that could be pretty useful. So I have two servers here, one over here and then one over here. So we're going to configure master replication between the two, meaning, we're going to set them as slaves of each other. So the operating system on both of them is CentOS 7, as you can see over here, 7. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and install the MariaDB server. Like I said, it should be the same with MariaDB or MySQL server. If you run into any problems, post comments below, and then I'll be happy to answer. So we're going to install MariaDB, MariaDB-libs, and MariaDB. Or, let's try if it's going to resolve the dependencies. Okay, there you go. So there you go. We're gonna do the same thing here. Install MariaDB server. So basically, there are some dependencies here. So the MariaDB server, the MariaDB, which is the like the MySQL client, libs provides like the this is the actual file that provides the my.cnf file, and it's the Perl MySQL library. All right, so let's go ahead and say okay. All right, so basically, in the older versions of the MySQL, we would just see the etcmy.cnf file, and that was all the configuration. But now it seems to be broken down into like it's including the my.cnf.t directory. It's probably organizing the configuration over there. All right, so let's go into the etcmy.cnf.d directory, and there are three files here: clients, MySQL clients, and server.conf. We are interested in the server.conf file, right? All right, so let's open up the server.conf file, and then we will be using the MySQL section over here for the application configuration. All right, so let's go over there and start our configuration. Server ID. I'm going to explain you all the configuration items here in a second. Let me finish writing them. Server ID equals 0, auto increment equals 2, auto increment offset equals 1, relay log equals var yeah, parlay MySQL. We're gonna say server A to this box. Relay log index. It's gonna be parlay MySQL server A dash relay bin dot index. It's log error. We're gonna say var log MySQL dot error. Then we're going to say master info file equals var lib MySQL server a dash. Oops, it's the master info. So we're going to say MySQL master.info relay log info file. We're going to say var lib MySQL server a dash relay dash log dot info. and then log bin, we're gonna say var lib MySQL server a dash bin. All right, so we're done with the configuration here. This is it. So the server ID equals 0. So the server ID is, it has to be unique between all the servers in the replication set. All right, so if you have two servers, you can say server ID 01, or if you have multiple servers 01, 2, 3. It does not have to start at 0, but I mean, you can just have anything, but just unique to the replication set. The second configuration item is the replicate same server ID equals 0. So that's to avoid replication on the same server. So we're going to say do not replicate same server ID by specifying 0 over here. So this option over here, auto increment increment 2. So that's basically like the number of servers, the masters you have in the replication set. So if you have 2, you're going to say 2. If you have 3, you're going to say 3. Auto increment offset, we're gonna say set the offset to 1 in this one. So basically what we do is, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to put the auto increment offset to 1 on this box, and the other box we're gonna set it to 2. So this box is always gonna have the odd numbers, um, right? So it'll start at 1, but then it'll offset. So auto increment over here we have is 2. So it'll start at 1, but then it'll start at 1, but then increment 2, always giving us like the odd number. So it's going to be 3, 5, 7, go on. So on the other box, however, we are going to have the offset set to 2. So it's going to start at 2, but then increase it with 2, and then it'll be 2, 4, 6, add. So what that does is it tries to reduce the likelihood of collision of the auto increment values if you are writing to both the master simultaneously. So it's not going to avoid the situation completely, but it's going to reduce the likelihood of you running into duplicate auto increment keys. So it's a good practice. Relay log. So this is the log file that keeps track of the relay of the statements. So just so you know, because I talked about relay over here, so I'm going to talk to you about the principle of the replication. So this replication we're doing over here is called SBR, or statement-based replication. Right. So what happens is, like, if you have two MySQL servers at the same state to begin with, and then if you run the same set of statements on both these servers, then they are going to be consistent, meaning they're going to have the same data. So that's the principle of statement-based replication, is like once you run a query on one server, then you relay that statement to the other server and you run the exact same statement. So like, as long as you run the same exact statements on the two exact same servers, they're going to stay same. So that's how the replication works, the statement based at least. So relay log index, it's going to keep track of the index of the relay log files, the binary files, the log error, self-explanatory. It's going to log errors to that file. Master info file. So this is where the master information is saved, meaning the information about the master from which you are going to be taking the replicated statement. So once we assign the master information to this box, we're going to see this file get populated. Relay log info file, it's going to keep the information of the relay log, and then this statement is pretty important. This is where the binary logging is enabled, and that's the core of the replication. So the binary log keeps the log of all the executed statements on the database. So this is really helpful. Even if you don't do replication, the binary logging can be enabled, and this can be helpful for you to perform point-in-time recovery should anything bad happen to your database and you lose, you accidentally drop a table, or, you delete data. So you can run point-in-time recovery from the binary log. So I'm not going to cover that in this video. If you guys want, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to create a video on point-in-time recovery, how to use the binary log, analyzing the binary log, extracting the statements from the binary log, and then all that fun stuff. All right, so this server is configured for replication. Now let's do the other box here, server.conf. We're gonna go over here, paste the config, just make our life easier, just a little bit. And then, like I said, we're gonna set the server ID to 1 or any other number, replicate same server ID 0. Increment is going to be the total number of servers that you have, and then the auto increment offset, we're going to set it to 2. So if you had third server, the auto increment would be 3, and then one would start at 1, the other at 2, and then the other at 3. And so one would go, the next one would be 4, 2, the next one would be 5, and then 3, the next one would be 6. So you would offset at 2, but start at a different offset. So all right, so now let's change all this server A to server B using a quick search and replace on the VI. So we'll look for server A, we'll replace it with server B. We would like to confirm. All right, there you go. That's it. All right, so let's go ahead and restart the systemctl, restart MariaDB, even though we have not started the service. Systemctl restart MariaDB. All right, this one's restarted. So let's check a look at the varlib MySQL directory. And then remember we defined all these files here. So this one is the binary log. This is the index of the binary log. This is the binary log for the server A, 001, 002, 003. So it initialized 3 binary logs. And then the binary index keep track of which log file is being currently used. So over here, same thing over here, MySQL. And then now let's go inside the MySQL console. MySQL on both sides. All right. So now what happens is we need to create a user that has the privileges to perform the replication. So grant replication on star.star, meaning we want to grant replication on all the tables, on all the databases to replication at. So now we need the IP address. So you can actually run system commands within the MySQL console by typing system at the beginning. So now we know the IP address 192.168.100.6 and identified by, I'm going to set the password to replication for the sake of the video. Make sure you have a strong password. All right. Oops, sorry about that. Let me just clear the screen so it's better visible. So I missed the replication slave over here. All right, that's good. So let's grant replication slave on star.star to replication at 192.168.100.23 as the IP, I remember, identified by replication. All right, so anytime you change the authentication or the privileges in MySQL database, you have to run plus privileges in order to reload the privileges table. Oops, had a typo. Privileges, all right. Ah, come on. So system clear. Plus privileges, all right. Okay, there you go. So now that we have the replication user set and everything, so now, so master status. All right, so this actually, we're going to use this information later, but I just want to talk a little bit. So the master status shows us which binary log is being used at the moment and the position of the log. So right now the server is using server B bin 0003, and then the position is 497. On this, it's 496 on that binary file. All right, so now we need to tell them who is their master, right? So we're gonna say change master to master underscore host equals master. Oops. It's gonna be the IP address of the master. So for this box, the master is, I believe it's 6. Okay, it is 6. So 100.6, comma, and then we're gonna say uh, master underscore log underscore file is so the log file. This is going to be the log file, right? So we're going to copy the log file from the other server, the master server, and paste it there. So we tell them that this is the log file, all right? And then we're going to say, so the master underscore user. So the user that we are going to use is the replication that we created in the last step. Then we're going to say master underscore password. So we're going to get the password here, replication. Then we're going to say master underscore log underscore position, but the keyword is POS, POS. And the position is, so this is the log file, and this is the position. So we want to start from here, all right? So let's say 497 now, semicolon, and then we put it there. All right, so now this is ready to be the slave of that. So actually, so slave status is what we can do to view the um, so you see how it is displayed, so you can make it a little better by doing this, right? So that's that. All right, I think so I need to turn the caps lock off, so slave status. All right, yeah. Let me just double check. What did I? Okay, I was just doing the so status. My bad. So when I do the so slave status, so actually the slave IO is not running and the slave SQL is not running, right? So we have all the master information, but the slave thread is not started. So let's go ahead and start the start slave. All right, and here you go. So I told you about this, that the server IDs must be different for replication to work, um, because we are using replicate same server ID. We're setting that to false. It's good that I could show you that. So so we need to change our server.conf. All right, so I just changed the server ID to 2. Apparently, it does not like server ID 0. For some reason, I selected server ID 0. I always usually start from 1. But, all right, let's put it to 1, and then we'll put the other one to 2. VIHC my.cnf.d my.server.conf, and we're gonna set it to 2, right? All right, systemctl restart MariaDB, and we're also gonna restart systemctl restart MariaDB. All right, so that's all be taken care of. It's good that we ran into that problem, and I could explain that. So start from 1. So MySQL, and you can also do like variables like server underscore ID to check the server ID, go over here. So variables like server underscore ID. So now we have 1 and 2. So our slaves should now be running. So there you go. Slave IO running, slave SQL running. So we now have replication from uh, this server to this. So anything that's written on this server should come over to the server. All right, let's try it. So databases. All right, so databases. All right, so they both have same databases. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new database. Let's say create database replicate. Well. Let me control C. So we're gonna create a table. Second here. So we're gonna create a table. Users. All right. Use rep test. And we're gonna create that table into that. All right. So databases, now we should have a new rep test database, which we do over here. And then let's see if the table is created. Use rep test. And then so tables, we should have a users table in here. There we go. Start from users. We don't have any data yet. All right, so the replication from this server to this server is working fine, right? So now let's go ahead and configure the replication on the other side. So here we're going to say change master to master underscore host 192.168.100.23. We're going to say master underscore log underscore file equals. We're going to have to see so master status in order to see that. So we're going to say, all right, and the position. Well, first the master. It doesn't really matter what order you put these variables in. Equals replication. What was the user that we created? All right. We'll just check here. All right. So replication, and then we're gonna say master underscore password equals replication as well, and then we're gonna have master underscore log underscore pose equals, that's going to be this number over here. So we're going to start replication from this point on. All right, so that's going to be 245. Oops, 245. There you go. So now we're going to show slave status. It's not running yet, so we're going to say start slave. Now, if we check the status, there's yes. Right, so we do have the slave running as well. So now we should have master replication configured here. So database, we're already so tables, so we're already there. So tables. All right, so select start from users. We don't have any users yet. Select start from users. So now let's try the replication from this box to the other, right? So let's insert some data into the table. So we're gonna say insert into users, and then we're gonna say name values, let's say replication test. All right, so now We can select data. We see that, right? But let's make sure. All right, there you go. So now let's insert another data on the other side and then see if that shows up here. Replication, or we're going to say reverse replication. All right, so select the data from here, select the data from there. So there you go. Those two servers are set up as Master Master Replication. So you can write to either of these servers, like you can write over here or here, and they both are going to have the same data. Right. So, I mean, normally you could just use one as active master and then the other as the standby master, or the, just use the read queries on the standby and then write queries on this, or, however you want to balance it out. So that's how you set up master master replication. You can even do like, master master replication with SSL encryption between the traffic. So let me know if you guys are interested, and I will create a video for you guys if you are interested in master master replication with SSL encryption. So now the other thing to note is, like, when you do the so slave status and then you see connecting on this, well, actually, either this or this, one of the two. You may encounter, you see, connecting. So just make sure that the firewall port is open on both sides for each other to access port. So for the MySQL, it's 3306 TCP. So make sure you configure whatever your firewall is to allow TCP port 3306. So for IP tables, for example, you would do IP tables -I input minus S, and then 192.168.100.6 minus P TCP minus MTCP, or maybe you want to put that to the front. So let's do it the other way. Minus P TCP, TCP minus S 192.168.100.6 minus D port 3306 minus A accept. So that's what you do for IP tables. Since we're doing this on Centos 7, we would be using Firewall D by default. So that's where, let's see, we have MySQL service, so we can just do firewall CMD get active zones. Let's see. So we just have one interface, and that is public zone. So we'll do firewall CMD zone equals public add service equals MySQL, and then we'll say permanent. One thing to note in this, though, is you are exposing the MySQL port to everyone out there. So if you don't want to do that, which you shouldn't, you should use a reach rule. So let's say firewall CMD, add reach rule. And then you're going to say rule family is going to be IPv4 inside the codes, IPv4. And then the source address is going to be the IP address of the slave, 192.168.100.6. And then you're going to say service name equals MySQL. And then you're going to say accept this and then make it permanent. So that's how you would just allow that IP address, and then remember to do a reload of the firewall. So that's how you set up MySQL Master Master Replication. We encountered some issues with the server ID, so now we know you just use server ID beginning with from 1. It doesn't seem to like server ID 0. And just make sure you have the firewall open And then if you are starting a brand new replicated servers, then this is good. But if you're starting to replicate a server that already has data, make sure you create the latest backup, copy into the sleeve, and then start the replication from there. All right, I hope this video was useful. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys like it, mm, like the video, subscribe, and share it to whoever you think it may be useful to. And watch out for my next videos, guys. And then if you have any video requests, let me know, and I'll come out with the video that you guys want whenever I get time next. All right, thank you for watching.